preseason, but I'm high-heel thought. Jimmy G buckets gets buckets. Oh my goodness! Give me the hot sauce, Bill Puff. Give me the hot sauce. What are you doing, Dragic? Did you not get the memo? Derrick Rose can go upstairs. Let me step back and kiss myself. MVP time.
Hey, welcome into a brand new edition of the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast. And what do you know? We are all in Palatine, in studio. It's been a long time since that happened. Stacy's been busy traveling all around the NBA with the crazy schedule that you've had to have. And then he was in Houston last night, flew back, and he's good enough fighting the weather and everything else to come in studio. So we appreciate you being here.
You know what? I missed you guys. So I wouldn't miss this opportunity.
That's what he said before the show.
Listen. I would not miss this opportunity to come in studio and be with you guys. Honestly, miss you guys.
And Stacey tried the grand experiment last week. I had a busy schedule going on, and Tim was in Florida. So Stacey put our co-producers on the air. What'd you think of that whole show?
It was Bring Your Children to Work Day. And there probably will not be a Bring Your Children to Work Day again. But no, we had a good time. You know what? After about a few minutes, they loosened up.
Yeah.
Francisco, he's got the personality of a pet rock, and by about 20 minutes into the show, he started loosening up, and he started getting into it, and he started feeling more relaxed. Dangerous D, he had the nerve to say this is a lot harder than I thought.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Now he sees what we have to go through.
He got into the tequila.
Listen, I'm usually like behind everything. I really don't ever have to speak. There was a camera right here in front of me in the middle of these two screens. I was frightened to death.
Freaked out.
Yeah. Well,
Stage
it was
fright.
fun. It was fun. We had a good time because I was in a hotel. Where was I at?
You were in Indiana.
I was in Indianapolis. So yeah. So I would have loved to be here with the guys, because then I would have just, oh man, it would have been fun because I would have grilled the shit out of them. I'd have made them sweat. So, but we had a good time. They did a good job filling in. And, we like to get these guys out in front of the camera, because they do such a good job behind the scenes. And so.
Yeah, but these kids are growing up. It's kind of like the tail wagging the dog now. They got full-time jobs, and we're working around their schedules. I mean, what the hell's going on?
First of all, it's a sweatshop here, okay? And we're working everybody to the bone. So, we give them those animal crackers and milk.
Yeah.
That's what their payment is.
They're excited tonight. We got calamari. Where'd you order that from, Whispers?
Moretti's.
Oh, nice.
Moretti's pizza, baby.
It's weird.
Yes.
They're like, can you get a bucket of calamari?
I'm telling you, yeah.
Track that down.
So Tim orders it to be arriving just as we start the show. So like an hour from now, it's going to be
and I didn't
all
even
cold and shitty.
Yeah, and I didn't even
chewy.
know.
Exactly.
I didn't even know we were going to eat. I come in, I had stopped by Wendy's. I was starving, and then all of a sudden I see.
We never get food.
You never know. There's days we don't get it. Hey, there's days we don't get it.
Yeah, sometimes the delivery guys get lost.
They get lost and they cancel the order.
The guy that brought this food said he stopped in the middle of the road, looked around, and decided if he really wanted to drop it off or not.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he said
It's
that the
dangerous
directions
in
took
here?
him right to the middle of the road, not to the actual parking lot.
So he's going to drop it in the middle of the road and go?
And then he actually found the place.
So
and
it's
he was
real
like,
bright, huh?
So what do you think? Who do you think ordered? A bunch of rabbits?
I have no
Jesus.
fucking clue.
It's like some rabbits ordered pizza, some calamari.
Open the manhole cover and come
Apparently
up.
they don't know
right
how to
here.
read directions,
So when we get out of here, your guy Caesar's going to be passed out from eating all the calamari, right?
Yeah, Caesar. Hey, listen, man. Caesar's a trooper, man. I had to call him on the last minute today because I didn't know if I was going to come in.
Yeah.
I was going to probably, because once it started snowing, I was going to probably stay at home.
I was
like,
thinking the same thing for a while.
I was like, do I really want to go way out there in the snowstorm? And then all of a sudden it started lightening up. So then I called my man Caesar because Caesar's always on call over at Windy City. So to see if he was working. He was off today, and he did me a solid by bringing me up. And so, that was good. That was really nice of him because I almost didn't come. Mark. I saw that snow outside, and here it is, March 22nd. And I'm like, only in Chicago is this snow.
Yeah, we've had great weather all winter. Now we get snow now.
Now we get snow now. It's like there is no spring. It's just like summer and it's fall, and then that's it.
Yeah. Well, Stacey came back from the game in Houston last night. The Bulls lose to the Rockets. And it was kind of a strange set of circumstances where DeMar DeRozan got tossed out of the game for a flagrant 2 technical, but it took the referees forever to decide what they were going to do there.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what, these listen, I know it's tough being a referee. I get that, okay? But it's these decisions they have to make, and they have to go to the monitor. It just takes so long because I thought if you're on the monitor, you're in direct with New York. And New York has already probably seen the play 100 times before you even get to the monitor. So I don't see why it takes so long to make a decision on something. And it's been more and more like that all year long. The officiating, I'm telling you, man, listen, it's really been kind of bad this year. Like last night, I said it last night, the officials kind of let that game get out of hand, by allowing these guys to play a certain way. The physicality of the game, I love it, but that's not how you allow these guys to play all the time. And so when you allow people to elbow people in the back of the head and, push and shove to get an advantage on the ball, you're going to have some fights. And I saw it coming last night. I called it. And sure enough, DeMar gets ejected. Dylan Brooks, the guy who's always in the middle. Yeah. He's always in the middle of everything. I mean, that guy, listen, he's a guy you hate. You're a guy you hate when he's on someone else's team, but you'd love him if he's on your team. Same thing with Grayson Allen. But Grayson Allen, I think, has put that dirtiness behind him now, and now is focusing on being the best basketball player he can be. He's having a hell of a season in Phoenix. I think he set a Phoenix record of having the most 9 3-pointers made in the game. And you talk about all the shooters that have come out of Phoenix, and with Booker there, and he's never had that record. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's leading the league right now. He's shooting just under 50% on the season from 3-point range. So he's been unbelievable. And Dylan Brooks learned a lesson last night that you don't mess with a guy straight out of Compton. I mean, he was not going to take any of that shit.
Listen, let me tell you something. DeMar is one guy I would not want to mess with because DeMar is not a guy that's going to beat his chest. DeMar is not a guy that's going to be like, hey, look at me. He's one of those guys. My dad always told me the loudest guy in the room is probably the softest guy in the room. It's the guy that doesn't say anything you need to worry about. And DeMar is that guy. Because, DeMar would be one of those guys like, he'd beat you and you'd be down on the ground and you'd be unconscious and he'd still be beating you. It's like you finally had to pull him up. Like, let him go, DeMar. It's okay. You won. No, I told him not to. Just keep beating him, He's that guy. Like, I would never mess with him because he's a silent, like kind of an assassin type person. And you could tell last night he was getting frustrated with the calls as well. He thought he got fouled a bunch of times going to the basket, no calls. And then all of a sudden, you get, he said, I'm going to take matters in my own hands. He goes to his Jalen Green and out of nowhere, like a free safety, just like a missile, boom, and hit him and then was walking away. And then here comes Dylan Brooks. If you're Dylan Brooks and you didn't like the way he hit him in the first place, why weren't you over there when he was kind of standing over him? Why would you wait till the referees are now around, everybody can see what's going on, cameras are on, DeMar, now you walk up and try to be Billy Badass? If you really about that life, like you gonna get DeMar as soon as he did it. Like if that would have been me and one of my players or my teammates would have gotten hit like that, I'd have been in DeMar's face right then and there. We'd have been going right then and there. But this guy just waits and okay, look around. Okay, there's a camera on me. Okay, DeMar's back is turned, so I think I'm gonna grab him and act tough. It's like, come on, dude. You're not that guy. You're not that guy.
Yeah, and DeMar kind of gave you an inkling into his background and his thinking when he was talking to reporters after the game. He says, you don't walk up on a man from behind.
No.
That's cowardly.
No, you don't. That's why people sucker punch people.
Yeah.
And he has a point. And first of all, you don't need to be grabbing anybody. If you're grabbing somebody, Mark, that means you want to go. You don't grab people. I mean, you look at, Chris Fleming. And, everybody said he shouldn't have grabbed, John Collins, and that supposedly that's what caused all the ruckus in that because he grabbed John Collins. He's a coach. He's trying to bring up a fight. So I don't hold Chris Fleming responsible for that. He is a coach. He's trying to separate people from not getting hurt. And if you're looking at it as being disrespectful as a player, it's shame on you. But when a player grabs you, that's a different story. Don't grab me. Don't touch me because I know your background anyway. You're a sucker puncher guy anyway. You hit people in the private parts. You kick them when they're not looking. So stay away from me.
Yeah, you don't want to end up with a Kermit Washington.
That was the worst of all time.
Wait, are you talking about our show or the punch?
Wow. Wow. See,
remember the Saturday Night Live skit where it appears that Kermit Washington is punching Whitey?
Wow. You know what? You guys are real. You especially. That was uncalled for.
My bad.
He tried to slide that up under there. I knew exactly what you said.
You knew where I was going.
I know exactly. Hey, he's like, which one was worse, that or the show?
You never know when Whispers is going to chime in. It's always trouble, though.
Well, we can have DeMar on too and ask him the same thing.
Wow, yeah, you leave DeMar alone.
Hey, I will.
Exactly. You just need to leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Hey, you got that soundbite replay?
Which one?
The one about DeMar and being straight out of Compton?
Oh, no, that's too graphic. We don't want to. No. We don't. No.
Well, as we mentioned, we are working around the schedule of our producers, D and Cisco. You know, they're always saying they can't make a show at this day. They're too busy that day. They got an appearance this day. So it's a rare Friday night taping of the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast while the NCAA tournament is going on. But we're breaking our backs, bending over backwards for these two fine young lads who are spinning the dials, as Chuck Swirsky would say.
And Mark, did you notice the jeans, though? They're not tight.
No, they're not tight.
You got any socks on with those shoes?
Yeah. I got the.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I was kind of scared for a minute.
Yeah, he looks. The jeans look nice. We're not looking at his balls like they're not so tight. Thank you, man. I appreciate that because I can see you in the glass. It's just not. It's not appealing, man.
You can't see his heartbeat in his shirt. Can't see his balls. It's a normal fit.
Yeah, no.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God
it's
what
Friday.
We're trying
to say.
Yes.
Hey, we got some good news on the day. One of the popular Bulls of recent years, Javonte Green.
Yes.
There's 5 Javonte Greens are coming to join the Bulls. They've got an injury roster exemption from the Lonzo Ball situation, and they're going to sign him off the Santa Cruz Warriors G League squad. It's going to be great to have Javonte Green back.
Yeah, when I saw Woj post this, I had to look twice to make sure it was legit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I fell for the old banana in the tailpipe trick. I'm going to tell you something. First of all, let's go back to that right there.
There's too much of that shit going on.
Okay, first of all, Twitter needs to stop giving everybody check marks.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're going to do that, then the legit people who are people who deserve it, who are legit people, should get a black check mark since you went to black. And then the people who are not the real people, they can get the blue.
Yeah, they can buy the fraud.
Yeah,
shit.
Then you know exactly who. Because I was doing the game, and then the Derrick Rose situation comes up, and the graphics look legit. It looked Wojnarowski, I mean, everything looked legit. So I'm like, Derrick Rose retired. I kind of thought it was weird. Why is he retiring like right now? Like, why would he just say at the end of the season? So I was kind of skeptical at first, but it looked so real that I was like, dun, 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 dun. and to Adam's credit, Adam told me to wait. He said, wait, we don't know yet. Wait.
Yeah.
And I was trying to break the news. I felt like a reporter. I'm trying to break the news, bro. So I broke the news. And I wasn't the only one who got fooled. A lot of people got fooled by that, but they need to take that stuff off. They shouldn't let people do that. And that guy had Woj's face on there. It all looked like Woj. And then if you go on his little Twitter account, then it says fake something. Then you know it's fake. But it doesn't come up fake when he puts up that report. So like we see this report right now. That's what it looked like when I got it. And then on the bottom of where the number 24 is, it'll say, breaking news, Woj bomb or whatever it was that Woj always has. It looked legit. So yeah, they got me. But
this is legitimate. Javonte Green is returning, and I know that Casey Johnson has confirmed that he's going to be joining the Bulls on that injury exemption. And it's been a tough road back for him. He had what was thought to be a relatively minor injury, and it really set him back. And sometimes those leg injuries, as we've seen with Lonzo Ball, they don't heal as quick as you want them to.
Yeah, and it's I thought he'd be on an NBA roster, because of the things that he can do, the versatility that he has, that he showed here. He can play multiple positions. He plays bigger than he actually is. And I was really surprised that he was on the Golden State G League team for so long, But to his credit, he stayed there and he kept, playing. And, the Bulls, we have so many injuries, what better situation for him to come into that he already knows the system, knows the plays. So he'll automatically be able to come right in and play. So it's good to see that. Also, it's good to see Isaiah Thomas, who got picked up by the Phoenix Suns, who should have been in this league from the get-go. This guy's been through so much adversity. You go back to when he got hurt in Boston. His sister died in the playoffs when we were playing him.
Remember that? Yeah.
And then he hurt his hip, and he was playing with a hurt hip. He put his career on the line for a franchise, and then they kind of kicked him out.
Yeah, people forget he averaged like 27, 28 points a
Oh,
game.
yeah.
He was third in the league in scoring.
Yeah, and he was up in the MVP race. The kid was a dynamic scorer. And I just couldn't believe it because there's not a lot of guards out there that can do what he does. And to see him not, playing the G League, never give up, Just it's great to see that he finally got an opportunity to show people, especially with the Suns, because they're struggling with scoring right now. So he's got an opportunity. I think it's his second stint in Phoenix. He's got an opportunity to stick there, which is good. And like I said, you just hate to see good players in this league not be able to get back in, because you're like, why are these players not able, like a Boogie Cousins or Dwight Howard? These guys are clearly better than most guys on NBA rosters. What is the reason why these guys can't get back in? Once they're out, they can't get back in. John Wall, these guys are sitting at home. There's so many teams that need those type of players but refuse to go out and get them.
I think a lot of NBA teams are worried about you bringing a veteran like that, guys that have been superstars in the past, and they're like, are they going to accept being a reserve and coming off the bench?
Well, if they don't, then you cut them.
Right, that's true, because you're
not
going to pay them much.
You don't have to pay them. I mean, you find out, you kick the tires, basically. What can they offer? You look at teams that need veteran centers, look at us. We could use a veteran, another big, to balance out what we have, because we have so many, we're guard heavy. The Bulls have been guard heavy for 2 or 3 years. And so to get another big guy, a versatile big that can probably swing down and play some 4, that would be awesome. But these guys are sitting at home and like no one's reaching out to them, and like it's just amazing that these guys were all former All-Stars and no one's even saying, hey, because you could either say, Mark, say, hey, look, John Wall, what's your expectations? And he say, hey, look, whatever you need me to do. If you need me to come off the bench, you need me to play 10 minutes a game, whatever you need to do, I just want to get back in, I'll prove my worth. Okay, boom, sign him. And if he's not happy with his role, then you cut him. Simple as that. But I don't know. I don't know why these guys are still sitting out and unemployed. It's amazing.
Since your last show that you did with the guys, we had the injury to Coby White, which looked really scary at the time. I thought he was done for the season.
Yeah,
it looked like it could have been a knee, could have been an ankle, could have been a tearing hip cartilage. I mean, all kinds of things. It was a hip injury, but it turned out to be relatively minor. He missed 3 games. He's back. And I don't know if you saw the other day, Paul George went on a podcast and said he's your most improved player.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know how much this injury is going to set him back, because Jalen Johnson has been playing extremely well for Atlanta. And it's also going to come down to what the voters view as Maxey. Maxey, I thought last year was in that most improved player. And though his numbers are even better this year, you were already a starter. You already played. So it's like, your chance was last year. Now it's these new kids, these guys whose minutes have gone up from, Coby playing 10, 12 minutes to playing, league leading minutes now. Jalen Johnson, young kid, didn't get a lot of opportunities, with John Collins and all these guys being there. Now he's their main forward. So those two, in my opinion, are the 2 guys that are in the running for MIP.
Yeah, and the Sixers have really faded badly since Embiid got hurt. I mean, Maxey's having a great year. I'm not taking anything away from him, but his numbers have dropped a little bit when he's the main focus of the defenses.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Don't be surprised when Embiid comes back. No one knows when he's coming back.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to see them in like a 8 or 9
Yeah, they're
seed.
like 8th now.
Yeah, you don't want to see them. If they're playing the playing game, they're going to breeze through that.
Imagine
okay?
if they played Boston in the first round.
That's what I'm saying.
With Embiid.
You don't want to see them in the first round. You're praying that doesn't happen. But I'm going to tell you right now, if Embiid comes back, and it's going to take him some time to get in shape, because we don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. He could be running right now and getting in shape. They could be holding him back and saying, okay, we're going to bring him out the last 8 games of the season. We don't know. No one's heard no reports on how he's doing, so we don't really know. But I'm telling you right now, when he does come back and they put him out in that line, they got Buddy Hield now. They got pieces they didn't have before he went out. Now you got Buddy Hield, a legit 3-point shooter. Maxey is playing like a first team, all NBA guard. And you add him to the mix, they could upset. And it'll be an upset because they might be a lower seed, but technically it's not an upset because if Embiid is healthy, they're a top 3 or 4 team in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. But the way it's looking, they're going to come in maybe in the playing game and blitz everybody in the playing game and then upset, the number 1 seed.
Yeah, in case you haven't been following the regular season that closely lately, we're almost at the 70-game mark. So teams have 10, 12 games left, and we are in the stretch run. And, you look at the standings, they're bunched in both conferences. It's going to be amazing. How about in the West? You look at the Pelicans. They've been playing really good basketball, and I saw recently that they said that Zion lost like 25 pounds since December, and we're seeing Zion at his peak now, and they're a scary team in an opening round match.
Well, I tell you what, too, Ingram got hurt the other night. I don't know how serious his injury was. It looked like he was holding his knee. So I don't know what his injury status is, and we can get our trusted producers out there
put
to
Cisco
find out.
on it.
Yeah, Cisco's real quick. I mean, if he was drawing a gun, I wouldn't vote for him, but he's pretty quick. If I was in a gunfight, I don't think I'd brought a side with him. But yeah, if he's healthy, the Pelicans are really, really tough. Put those standings back up there, will you please? Yeah, see,
All right, so
the scary.
Sorry, he has suffered bone contusion in his left knee.
Yeah,
that
a
can
bone
linger.
bruise.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
can
bone
linger,
bruise,
yeah.
and that can linger. How long is he out? Have they
This
said?
is expected 2 weeks.
Yeah,
He'll be longer.
Yeah,
Now.
it'll be longer than that. Yeah. So if you look at the Western Conference right now, like you're saying, who's going to be there at the end? Okay.
Hey, those two young teams, you worry about it because they haven't been through
listen, Oklahoma City and Minnesota.
Yeah.
They are having a remarkable season. Okay. They just can't mess with Denver. Denver, there's nobody. If there's anybody on that roster, remember I said this. Remember I told you this, America. Remember I called it out right now. The Lakers.
Yeah, or Golden State.
I said this the other night. The Lakers are going to be in the Western Conference Finals if they don't have to be on the same side Denver is. If they're on the side of the two through whatever that side is, they'll make it to the Western Conference Finals because I believe their team is built for playoff situation. This regular season, I think LeBron is playing. I think AD is kind of coasting, and they're just like, hey, listen, we won the in-season tournament, when no one thought we were. We're just better suited, to play in a playoff series. And I think they have the players. They got the wing length. They got the guards. They got LeBron. They got AD. They got all the necessary tools to be a difficult out. And I would not be surprised, America. Remember, I called this. If they're not on Denver's side of the bracket and they're on the opposite side of Denver, it would not be surprising if they're in the Western Conference Finals. And they're like 9th or 10th right now.
Yeah, because if they're going to play the number one seed and that happens to be Oklahoma City or Minnesota, they've got the edge and experience in a best-of-7 series.
Yes.
And if Denver's sitting at 2, they'll just wait. And you're right, we could get a rematch of Denver and the Lakers in the conference finals.
But I don't think they have enough firepower to beat Denver. I just think
no, I don't think so either.
Jokic is playing at a different level. MVP again this year, okay? And it could have been 4 straight MVPs if you really, really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they felt bad for Embiid and said, let's just give Embiid one, We just can't keep doing it to Jokic. Jokic could probably win MVP the next 6 years, okay? So to me, that team is just kind of coasting. We turn it on. When we play against the great teams, we'll turn it up.
Yeah.
We're playing against mid-level or below mid-level or whatever.
Hey, one last thing before we take a break. I sensed a little frustration with you and Adam last night about the Bulls' inability to get to 500. They've been chasing it all year, had a great chance to get a win in Houston, get back to 500. And Adam, I forget the term he used. I don't know, was it Machiavelli? I don't know what he was talking about.
It's syphilis or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay, but I don't ever say it because it sound like I was saying syphilis or something. That's what I thought of it when I first.
But you could see even Adam was kind of like, man, I thought we were gonna get to 500 tonight.
Listen, it's like Christmas when you thought you were gonna get a bike and you got a pair of underwear, and then you didn't want to look so depressed, but you were depressed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've had many opportunities. To me, they lack focus. To be down to a team like Houston, they were much bigger than Houston last night. To get down by 19, 20 points and have to work your way back, especially this late in the season, how important every one of these games are, that shows me that the focus is not there. Because if you're focused and you understand the situation, you're coming out totally different in these games, especially against these teams you're supposed to beat. They didn't have Shogun last night, and they should have beat Houston, okay? And they didn't. They should have beaten a bunch of teams this year that they should have won. They let Dallas come in and manhandle them. Daniel Gafford looked like the next coming of Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So we've seen that this year. They play down to the level of competition, and this late in the season, Mark, you got to start having a playoff mindset because you're not too far in front to get knocked out of the playing game. Atlanta, you still got Brooklyn. There's some teams that can get hot down the stretch and bypass you. So you got to stop messing around and win these games. So now you got Boston coming in. tomorrow.
Right.
So that's going to be a tough game. And that's going to be a game that I'm sure all odds makers are going to have Boston winning, okay? But knowing the Bulls, we're like an NCAA tournament team. We're like Oakland. No one expects us to win, and then we go out and beat somebody we're not supposed to.
And Boston, by the way, sat out all their guys tonight against the Pistons so they can play tomorrow.
Did they?
Yeah, Tatum, Brown, Horford, Holiday. They're all sitting, resting up.
But you know what? You know what's really funny, though? Other than the last time we played Boston pretty good.
Yeah.
We play them pretty tight, so it would not surprise me tomorrow if we come in and we're focused and we come in and not turn the ball over, not allow them to get off early on us and get us down by 14, 15 points because we have to spend so much energy to come back that we run out of gas at the end of the game. We can't finish because we've used all our energy and expended it for the second and third quarter trying to get back in the games. If this team can just stay close, and then execute down the stretch. You saw how important DeMar was last night. When he left that fourth quarter and got thrown out, you could tell there's a huge hole there when he's not there because the offense doesn't run the same. Guys don't know who's supposed to take shots. Io's playing out of his mind right now at that point guard position. He's looking really, really good.
Really nice. We got our backcourt for the future.
Yeah, both those kids have developed nicely this year. It'll be interesting to see, when all this is said and done, because Lonzo Ball is looking pretty good, they say.
That's what they're saying.
He's no pain, he's shooting, he's jumping, he's doing all kind of, I don't know how hard he's running or how hard he's cutting, but the reports are he looks pretty damn good for a surgery no one knew they'd never seen before. So that's a bright spot. So next year, if he comes back healthy, and of course he's going to be on minute restriction, he's not going to be able to come out and play 40 minutes a night. But it's going to be interesting to see how all that parlays. Then you got to, decide. The Bulls have to decide they're going to re-sign DeMar DeRozan.
Patrick Williams, restricted free agent.
Well, I think Patrick Williams is going to be an easy one for the Bulls because he's a restricted free agent. He can go out and go get an offer, and he may find the market is nothing there for him. And if he gets an offer, the Bulls can match it and bring him back. So I think that's what they're going to do with him. This injury hurt him. Him missing all these games really hurt him because he turned the corner when Zach got hurt. He started to show some really good bright spots of what he could be and if he's given minutes, what he could, turn into. And then, all of a sudden he gets hurt again. It's like the second or third year where he's had a significant injury where he's, missed a lot of time.
We're going to talk some football coming up next. Stacey has been a very outspoken proponent of
Justin Fields, baby. I'm getting my Justin Fields Pittsburgh jersey, baby.
And he's been fighting the Twitter beefs
That's right.
over the last few weeks. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. But first, I'm going to tell you about our buddy Jeff Vukovich when it comes to being treated like royalty. Make sure to contact nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich for your auto, home, and business needs. You can reach him at jeffvuk.com. That's jeffvuk.com. The phone number, if you're not watching on YouTube, and you should be, it is 847-825-4783. Best jingle in the business, courtesy of Stacey King.
Nationwide is on your side.
It's tough on a Friday night. He's been traveling.
America. I have upper respiratory infection. I'm just coming over. So the gold pipes are not where they need to be right now, okay? But they're getting close.
All right, Tim, put the calamari in the microwave or whatever you're going to do to heat that shit up. So we're coming back with football talk is next here on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Episode 171, if you're keeping track at home, of the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast rolls on. And, guys, I was filling in at ABC 7 over the weekend. Just got done with our 5 o'clock show. So I'm talking to my wife on the phone. The producer comes over, and he's like waving his hands at me. I'm like, it's 5:40. What the fuck you want from me? Can a guy get a break? So then he holds up the phone. Justin Fields traded. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this shit has to happen when I'm working.
Wow.
But I couldn't believe a 6th-round draft pick. You got to be kidding me. I mean, Ryan Poles has done some good things, but he totally bungled this whole Fields.
Yeah.
Well, and I do believe that they could have got a 2nd-round pick for him early. I think Pittsburgh was offering that. And then once they realized that they were bidding against themselves, they pulled out. It's like, there's no one else bidding, so let's just pull out.
And then Kirk Cousins signed with Atlanta, so that took a suitor out of there.
Yes. You know what? Just in my opinion, the way they handled it was just completely wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you you 1 minute you're saying you're looking at teams, and then 1 minute you say you're not looking at teams, and then you have this kid like twisting in the wind. Is he going to be here? He's not. Everyone in the locker room wants him to be here. I don't know. I believe because it's not Poles' draft pick, he has nothing invested in that in Justin Fields.
Right. He didn't.
So I didn't draft him, but it's one thing if you got a guy and he's not productive. He doesn't show you that he's an NFL quarterback. He's shown that he's an NFL quarterback. He just needs weapons. And the thing that really bothers me the most about this whole thing, Poles didn't do anything to help Justin Fields. He didn't go out and get any weapons, didn't get him the right coaches, didn't do anything for him. But he's gone out of his way to put a team together for whoever rookie comes in. He's going to walk in.
Yeah.
He's going to walk in and have. I mean, they won 7 games last year, and they probably should have won at least 9 or 10. So this kid's going to come in here, and if he's halfway as good as people think, the Bears are going to win 10, 11 games and be right up there in the division, race. And he's going to look like a savior, which is really bad because I believe if they would have just traded that pick and then went and got as much stuff as they could for that pick, which they could have gotten, and they would have built their team up for the long haul. I just think that in the grand scheme of things is that the way we run quarterbacks out of Chicago, that we'll be right back in the same situation 3 years from now.
Well, almost all rookie quarterbacks struggle. I mean, C.J. Stroud led the Texans to the playoffs. He was kind of an exception to that rule. But you look at the pressure that's going to be on Caleb Williams coming in a city like Chicago that has never had an elite quarterback under center. And those are the expectations. He's supposed to be elite from day one and take them to 10, 11 wins and go to the playoffs. That's a lot to ask for a rookie quarterback.
It is a lot. And again, he's going to have a good defense. He a number 1 pick normally comes to an awful team. Let's just be clear about that. You don't very seldom you see a number 1 pick come to a team that's like a playoff ready team. Even though they didn't make the playoffs last year, they are a playoff ready team with the moves that they've made this year. You go out and get Keenan Allen, all world receiver to go along with your already all world receiver DJ Moore. You got a great tight end. You got a running back in Swift now. You're going to get some offensive linemen. You went out and got a center, which that was a hole they needed to fill as a center. They got that. They've done everything. They got a new coach, new offensive coordinator, new quarterbacks coach. They went out and did everything that you would have wanted them to see Justin Fields do and then make a decision on Justin Fields after that. Now, look, we went out and got all these pieces for you. Got you quarterback coach, got you a new offensive coordinator. We built a system around you. We got you another wide receiver. Let's see what he does.
So, Whispers, when are you getting Kmet on the show? I mean, you've been talking about that for months.
I texted. I'm waiting.
Whispers is like that guy. Like, he says he can go out and do.
I just realized no one actually likes him.
He goes out there, Mark. He gets our hopes up high, all these people he knows, right?
Yeah.
And then when he calls these people, they say, who are you? Who are you?
Why do I know you?
How do I know you?
Well, they're confused because they know me under a different name.
New number, who this?
Yeah. Like they block him.
Whispers,
they block
who's
him.
that?
Yeah, who the hell is Timmy Whispers? It's like
I know a Tim Kelly, but I don't know any Whispers people.
You know what? How about we get back to you on if we want to come back on the show or not?
Yeah. Well.
Hey, sir, can you stop stalking? This is your 4th call. Can you stop calling us?
Well,
Yeah, Richard Dent's got a cease and desist
Oh.
order.
Oh,
he probably just went
yeah. We
right
told
straight
him.
to the sheriff's
Yeah,
office.
You get within 100 feet of him, you're in trouble.
When you're
He's not showing up at the club.
What's the club? What's the club?
Midtown.
When you're in the Midtown locker room, butt naked, and you see Tim standing next to you, asking you to come on a damn podcast, it's a little creepy, Mark. A little creepy. I'm sitting there, butt naked, air drying. Shh. And there's Tim. Hey, listen,
It's like the old John Walsh story.
Yeah, exactly. The man code violation. Hey, Rich, I know this is uncomfortable for you. I know, if you want to, just turn the other way. I'm gonna look.
Turn the other cheek.
Turn the other cheek. Yeah. Hey, have you ever heard of a waxing, Richard? I think they got one here in the club.
Yeah, he just walks away when he sees me coming.
Oh, there's that creepy guy again. Oh no.
He was gonna take a steam, then he's like, maybe not today.
No, not today.
Hey, getting back to the actual Bears situation, you think there's any chance that Ryan Poles tries to fool the world and trade out of that first pick and take Jaden Daniels?
It's
Listen. Big mistake. I'm not, there's 2 quarterbacks I'm not high on in the draft. And I'm not an expert. I'm just not high on them. Is the J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about him now, and he's moved up. And then Jaden McDaniels. I just don't, even though he won the Heisman Trophy and he had those all-world receivers last year, because both those receivers are top 10
round,
picks, okay? So he had the weapons around him to look good. But I remember him at Arizona State. And if you remember him at Arizona State, he struggled big time. And he lost a lot of games at Arizona State with interceptions and bad decision-making at the quarterback position.
You sent Herm Edwards back to broadcast.
Yeah.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, well, Herm wasn't winning no games down there at Arizona State. And then he transferred. And his teammates, they showed people going in his locker, clearing out his locker, taking things out of his locker, and they had nothing nice to say about him. They're like, I'm glad he's gone. That kind of thing, you know? Then he goes to LSU. He's playing with Brian Kelly. He's got 2 NFL wide receivers. He's got a good running game and a nice offensive line. He wins the Heisman Trophy. Those 2 guys really scare me. I didn't think J.J. McCarthy threw the ball enough in Michigan to make an fair assessment on him because Harbaugh is more of a managing guy, and plus he likes quarterbacks that can run, which McCarthy can do.
And he likes to run the ball, period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he didn't really throw the ball a lot, so it's hard to really get a fair assessment of what kind of quarterback he can be. I guess he had a really good combine. He had a really good pro day. So he's moved up in the thing. The one quarterback that I'm surprised no one is talking about is Michael Penix from Washington.
That's because of his age and all the injuries.
Man, to me, I'm just a fan. Okay, I don't scout for a living. Okay, I scouted basketball players, but not football players. But the eye test with this kid and the production that he had at Washington, it screams like big time quarterback. Can make every throw. Got the strongest arm in the draft. Him, and there's another kid that's got the strong arm.
Bo Nix?
No, not Bo Nix. The kid I think played at Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
The
Milton.
big kid, 6'4".
Milton.
Yeah, Milton. That guy's got a cannon, but he just doesn't have enough experience. You know, he's like that Anthony Richardson kid that everybody's like, oh my God, he can run, he can throw, boom, boom. But can he actually play the position? Is he ready to play NFL quarterback when he comes into the league? And Anthony Richardson, as you can see, felt more comfortable running last year when he got the pressure put on him. Then he ended up getting knocked out. And Gordon, what's his name, Minshew?
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew signed with the Raiders.
Yeah.
The third.
There's
3 of them.
with the mullet. He had the mullet and the big mustache. But these quarterbacks that you're assessing, you know, and there's people talking about, you know, Caleb Williams, that he's not as good as they think, you know. So, and just to be fair, how many quarterbacks in the last 5 years because every class has that one guy that can't miss, you know. You got Lawrence in Jacksonville. Oh, can't miss. He's going to be the next Tom Brady. He's going to be the next, you know, John Elway. He's got a cannon of an arm, can make every throw. He struggled. Herbert in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Oh, this guy's a prototypical quarterback, size 6'5", he's got a cannon of an arm. Okay, what's going on with him? These quarterbacks, you got to be very careful by anointing these guys certain things because it takes a team to win. Yeah, Tom Brady can win games for you and take you to the Super Bowl. How many Patrick Mahomes can do it? You know, how many quarterbacks can do that? It's not a lot of them that can do that.
Well, I know that you're a proud graduate of the University of Connecticut.
Thank you.
But you did grow up in Oklahoma.
Thank you.
And Caleb Williams' freshman year was for the Oklahoma Sooners. Do you have any allegiance to Caleb Williams, or did you write him off after he transferred to USC?
Yeah, I wrote him off. Because his Heisman is really Oklahoma's Heisman, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And their coach is our coach too. Okay. There's some really underhanded things that Lincoln Riley did to get out of the contract. See, he left to go he left because he wasn't happy with OU's move to the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Because he thought in his eyes it was going to make it difficult for him every year to get to a national championship. And so if you got to go to Alabama, Georgia, LSU every year compared to where you just came from, the Big 12, when only you have to worry about maybe 1 or 2 teams tops every year, Texas, maybe Oklahoma State, you know. Now the Big 12 is going to be tough because you got Houston, they got all these teams in there, UCF, they got all these really good football teams in there. It's going to be a really competitive conference. But he left because they were going to SEC. And so he said, okay, you're not going to take my vote. President makes a decision. He wants to go to SEC for the money. He bolts overnight to Southern Cal. But then he got thrown a curveball. He thought he was going to be in the Pac-12.
And
now they're in the Big
still
Ten.
More, yeah.
Yeah, now he's in the Big Ten. Now you got to compete against all these Big Ten teams every year. Penn State, you know, Iowa, Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for him to get to. Now watch in about a year or two, he's going to slide out of there and go somewhere else.
Yeah, he's going to go to the Pac-2.
Yeah.
Pac-3.
Yeah, exactly.
I want an automatic bid into the playoff.
Yeah, that's what he wants. That's what he wants. Because another thing that scares you about Caleb Williams is they brought a third-string quarterback in their bowl game.
Yeah.
Okay, he threw for 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
6 touchdowns.
He did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did everything that Caleb Williams could do. So is Caleb Williams a product of the system? We don't know. I think we get caught with all the flashy plays like, oh, he can run, he can throw the ball on the run, and he's got, a strong arm, can make every throw. You got to still remember, he's 6 foot tall. Okay, 6 feet. Okay. Justin Fields, 6'3", can do all the same things that Caleb Williams can do. But again, some of the areas that he could have gotten better at should have been things the Bears dealt with, working on his mechanics and getting him a real legit quarterback coach. You can't hire a first-year offensive coordinator to a young quarterback like that. If you had Aaron Rodgers, you can do that because Aaron Rodgers basically is the offensive coordinator by himself.
Yeah.
But when you got a young kid like Fields, if you look at his numbers have gotten better every year. The interceptions have gone down. The sack totals have gone down, saying he's not holding on to the ball as much as he used to. But my defense of a guy holding on to the ball, Mark, if I know you're going to go out, you're the ex-receiver, and you can't get off the line, and I'm sitting here waiting for you to get off the line, I'm like, the hell with you. I'm going over here. I'm going to throw it to somebody else because you can't get off the line. You can't get into the pass tree. You can't get to where you need to go. So I got to go somewhere else. I got to go to DJ Moore. I got to force the ball on DJ Moore. I got to force the ball to Kmet. Maybe if they ran the ball a little bit more and really had some kind of balance on the offensive end, maybe that would take some pressure off Fields as well.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the Bears do to try to supplement the roster. They've done a pretty good job in free agency. They've set Caleb Williams up for success. All signs point to him being taken with the number 1 pick in the April 25th draft. We'll have lots of coverage on that as we get close.
And I want the Bears to be successful.
Yeah, no question.
I want them to win. But my thought process of arguing with all these people on Twitter, my argument is I think you could win.
You like the way he said people? He was thinking about another word.
Yeah, I was getting ready. There's children. I don't want to hear what I had to say. But my argument was I think you can win with Fields and then still build your team to be able to the next 2 years to be a legit playoff team that can go deep into the playoffs. That's my argument. So now you got a rookie quarterback that you're basing what he did at SC in Oklahoma, but what if he comes here and he struggles mightily his first year? That's a whole year you wasted that Fields would have been there. You could have won 10 games, 11 games.
Yeah, because the decision's a lot more complicated than just Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
There's so many other things, including Justin Fields' next contract, which played into all this.
And then what kind of person is he going to be in the locker room? Because there was rumors at Oklahoma. I know at Oklahoma it's true that he wasn't well liked in the locker room by his teammates. Now, can he grow up and mature at SC? Yeah, but I also heard things about SC. So if he's not respected by college guys, what do you think the pro guys are going to do? Because first off, all those pro guys want Fields anyway, so he's going to be on a tight leash. At the end of the day, they want to win. If this guy can help us win games, we're all for it. But if he comes in here and he's not going to, work hard, he's not going to be the first one in the building, last one to leave like Justin Fields was, then there's going to be a problem.
Well, a whole team that paints their nails and cuddles their cat, that's a dangerous team.
Well, I like cuddling cats. Depends on what cat you're talking about. Meow.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, this is a family show. Sorry. Yeah. Meow.
You painting your nails?
No, hell no.
Well,
Hell no. No,
There's
but there's a
our
lot
answer.
of Dwayne Wade paints his nails. I just heard Dwayne Wade admit that he paints his nails.
yeah, that's clear though. That's different.
No, he said paints his nails.
Like what color?
I don't blue, green, whatever color he wants. About the same color as this diving suit you got on. This Jacques Cousteau special.
Hey, despite the snow today, it is officially spring in the Chicagoland area and all across the world, and it's going to be barbecue season real soon.
Woo!
So you want to get out and get some of the best hot sauce in the business to make your barbecue adventures extra special. So Whispers, tell the folks how they can get their bottles of all the different flavors of Stacy's signature sauce.
Well, I would like to put
Jesus.
sauce
Oh,
on
my
my
God.
Tyson chicken.
Oh my God. Stop it.
Did you say?
How about some Will Purdue chicken?
Did he just say stop it?
Stop it. Stop it. Really, I don't like him.
Suck at that.
I don't really like how he talks like me. It's not funny.
Sylvester the cat.
See, you should be doing the Tyson impersonations, not me.
I
was
did
good.
one last week.
That was there. You
Didn't
go.
I do
It's
it
right
last
there.
week? Yeah.
And there it is.
But no, I was doing it out of necessity because we were making fun of you.
Oh,
So you were
That's
the butt
what's
of the
based
joke.
on?
You were the butt of
Really?
the joke. Yeah.
oh, you got to be kidding me.
Go ahead, read that. But listen, people have been clamoring for Christopher Walken, man. Bring him back.
Bring it back.
All right. We
There
got the
you
best
go.
sauce in the market, and you can get it anywhere, including online at GimmeTheHotSauce.com. It's flavorful, and you can bring it to any barbecue. It doesn't have to be your own. Bring it over to a friend's house, throw it on their popcorn, throw it on their hot dogs. It doesn't matter. It spices up everything. Enjoy yourself. Even bring it to the bedroom if you have to.
Oh,
I'm sorry. That's in my next film.
Hey, could the 1871 kill an old geezer like you?
It could. I accidentally spilled some in my lap last week. I had some burning sensations I hadn't felt since the early 70s.
Since the Depression.
Whispers. I had to take some
Wow.
penicillin. I didn't know what was going on.
oh my God.
So how can the folks get a bottle, Chris?
Just head over to GimmeTheHotSauce.com, GIMME, and use one of the codes. There's free shipping. It's easy.
And still available at your local Jewel Osco stores.
It
So
is.
run out and get a
That's
bottle
right.
or two.
Soon.
Barbecue season is almost here. And we're
Yes.
glad that Christopher Walken stopped by the Sriracha Studios.
Yes.
I know I'm not always welcome, but I'll always be here for you guys.
Well, we appreciate it, Christopher.
Now that I'm 88 years old.
Well, just try to find your way to your car. Okay?
Don't spill any more hot sauce in your groin area.
I just
try to
sick
avoid
of people
that.
impersonating me. It's really getting aggravating.
You know what else is aggravating? Seeing Yale beat Auburn and your bracket being
Oh, this
busted.
is some
We're going to
bullshit.
talk about the early rounds of the NCAA tournament and what we're watching when Gimme the Hot Sauce rolls on. A lot of sports fans find this the best time of the year. March Madness has arrived, opening round of the NCAA tournament. We've had a couple of huge upsets so far. On Thursday night, Oakland, which was the 14 seed, knocked off John Calipari's Kentucky Wildcats. And then earlier today, it was Yale beating Auburn, Bruce Pearl's fourth-seeded team. They were up 7 in the second half and choked it away. And Yale had a guy named John Paycuts, who's from Naperville, who made 6 threes in the game and was hitting all kinds of tough shots, averaging 13 points on the season. But it was his one shining moment. And Stacey, for good or bad, I mean, I think that's why people love the tournament so much. It's not best of 7. It's one and done. And if you don't come and bring your best that day, you're going home.
Well, Mark, I will tell you this, that the portal has really kind of balanced this tournament out. You know, guys are the one and dones, guys are leaving. Then guys are transferring to other schools for NIL purposes. And it's really kind of hurt the game. If you got a veteran team and you got good guards, you got a chance to go pretty far. It's always been, even when I played, you had to have good guards. If you had good guards and they could actually, dominate the game, with their ball handling, getting the ball up under pressure, you got a good chance to go pretty far. And one big man, got one good big man that can score in the post, you got a pretty good shot. But the 3-ball, I mean, you're starting to see some of these teams, they're shooting lights out from the 3-point line. Like, I don't know how you're not guarding these guys. Like, the kid from Oakland, like, he was open every single time he got the ball.
He made 10 threes in that game. Jack Gohlke.
Look at him.
is
Look
his
at
name.
Jack. Look at Jack.
Yeah.
Jack looks like he's about 40 years old. He looks like a guy that plays on a Saturday afternoon. He's an accountant. He plays on Saturday afternoon in the men's league, and he busts everybody's ass because he used to play a Division I. Look at him. He looks like about 40. He don't look like a kid. Like he's like 40 years old. Now you compare him to like the Kentucky players who look like they're like 18, 19, look young kids. This looks like somebody's dad.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
Gohlke.
Wolverine.
He's only taken 8 2-point shots the whole year. He's at like at 250 3-point attempts and 8 2-point shots.
So now if you're doing a scouting report, okay, we're not playing
Let him
him for the
drive.
2.
Yeah.
We're playing him for the 3. Get him off the 3-point line. He doesn't take 2s. He's not comfortable taking 2s. Now, if you're an NBA team, you're looking at that kid, he'll be on Miami Heat's team next year.
They specialize in guys like that.
Yeah. He'll be on Miami's team. He'll be a specialist shooting threes. They'll convert him, make him a defensive guy. He'll be tough, but he's a shooter. The shooters are premium in the NBA right now.
What did you make of John Calipari's post-game news conference? He was looking for sympathy, I think, because of the fact that he's starting, 5 McDonald's All-Americans and has 5 more on his bench. And he was talking about the fact that, my kids are 18, 19 years old. They're all freshmen.
Oh, man.
With NIL, we just can't compete against these kids who are 23, 24 years old. Well, no one's going to have a tag day for John Calipari. I mean, the guy's made more money than God. And he's got a $34 million buyout if they want to get him out of Kentucky. Kentucky's only won 1 first-round game in the last 5 years with all these McDonald's All-Americans.
And listen, stop crying about NIL. Kentucky is probably the one team that can match everything that everybody else is making. Yeah. Why do you think you get these kids? So stop trying to go, we can't compete because NIL. Come on, man. You got boosters out the butt in Kentucky that can give these kids NIL money. They know what they're going there for. They're one and done. And the fact is that my belief in John Calipari is he tries to play all these guys equally, okay? Everyone's not equal. There's better players. This guard is better than this guard. The guard who's better than this guard should get more playing time. He's trying to play all his guys 15 minutes, 16 minutes, and you just can't do it. Your best players have to be on the floor, especially in tournament time. You have to have your best players. If it's 7 of them, it's 7 players. But your best players have to be on the floor at all times in a tournament.
Yeah, this kid, Rob Dillingham, who was a 5-star recruit and is going to be a lottery pick, he's bringing him off the bench. He misses a couple of shots, and they don't go back to him.
No.
You got this amazing talent. They're really not utilizing him. We saw it when Devin Booker was there. He averaged like 12 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the players that come out of Kentucky, they don't do what they're better NBA players than they are college players. And he had made a comment, I saw, I don't know where I saw it, was on some news report where he said that his players don't come there for NIL money. They come there to be in the NBA. And all his players that are gone off to the NBA are playing on their second contract now. Guys making $200, $300, $400 million. That's where you want to get your money. You're not worrying about what you get in college. For college, you're learning how to play and you're learning how to be mature. And he even said that Pat Riley told him that the Kentucky players that come into the NBA are well disciplined and they're coachable and they're just better players.
And they haven't won the NCAA tournament since the days of Anthony Davis. I think it was 2012 was the last time they've won the tournament. How about How about Northwestern pulling that game out in overtime? I thought they were done for late. They made some mistakes. And
the refs tried to take him out.
They got the drive by Barnheiser to tie it, and then the kid from FAU just had a brain lock and threw up a 40-footer at the end instead of driving to the basket. And then they killed him in overtime.
And then that kid that they got the
Langborg.
Lit it up from the Tigers.
And their reward. They get to play UConn on Sunday.
It's gonna and we're going to beat them. They can't play with us right now. As much as I like Chris Collins, that's my boy. But you got no shot in hell to beat us.
I think if they didn't have those injuries they had, they could be in it because if they had their big guy.
You stop wishing.
I'm just saying. It makes
you could have your whole roster healthy.
It's a game.
You could have your whole roster healthy. They are not messing with UConn.
You could bring Evan Eschmeyer back.
Exactly.
It wouldn't matter.
You could bring back Powder.
Billy McKinney can play in the backcourt. It ain't happening.
Oh, my God. What's Powder's real name? Dan something?
His Dan, oh, shoot. I can't remember now. But
yeah.
Well, you ruined it after you started calling him Powder.
Oh, man. He was a Northwestern center, right?
Well, you thought
Evan, health club with you guys?
You thought
Evan was pale and white? His buddy.
This dude was white as milk. And then he cut all his hair off. And he was bald headed,
red eyes,
and he had his eyes were weird. He looked like Powder, the movie Powder.
It's kind of scary.
And he was really jacked.
And his name was Dan. He had huge hands. He had huge hands.
Well, didn't you watch the show Banshee?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was that guy, but he was 7 feet tall.
Oh man, he's a big dude, man. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he was scary.
Yeah, he was scary.
But
Powder.
Anyhow, that was a great win. I mean, that overtime crushing was, and they're having fun. And
Chris has done a great job.
Yeah, he really has.
Because there was one point they said he was on the hot seat 3 or 4 years ago.
Not anymore.
But
my
thing is, how can he be in a hot seat when it's hard as hell to recruit there?
Hey, Fran, you gave me no graphic for this, really? This is the only glory you get. These guys bashed my skull all year on NU. Now you had nothing. Wow. Very disappointing.
Palms up. He's got nothing.
Look.
Hey!
There we go.
I put it up. I put it up earlier while you guys were talking.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, we've always had it.
Yeah, I put it up. I took it back down. So
but some people are just listening to the show. They're not getting.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're right.
Expertise.
Hey, do you have anything for Oklahoma or anything like that? Or?
Of course not. What you mean?
Thanks for a good season.
They turned down the NIT. Did you see where there was a rumor that DePaul was trying to get Porter Moser to come back, and he immediately goes, "Hell no, I'm not coming back to that."
Okay, first of all, Mark, I'm gonna have to excuse myself in that conversation.
Oh, because you didn't go to
I don't appreciate.
Stacey went to Northwestern.
I don't appreciate. First of all, I transferred from Oklahoma to UConn, and I don't appreciate it. I still have a lot of friends at Oklahoma.
You went to Northwestern.
Francisco, pull up his stats.
Pull
up his stats.
Pull up my stats at Oklahoma.
Yeah, we have the records.
Go pull up. Show me what I
Wait,
did.
Very hard to read.
Did you? I have a question for you.
I think those are Emeka Okafor's numbers.
Huh? What do you have to ask me?
There is an article in 2021 about you almost leaving Oklahoma. Is that true?
Yes, I almost left after my sophomore year.
Why?
I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with my playing time.
Oh,
if there would have been a portal, I would have jumped my ass in it.
Was it after that? It was after the Iowa game, right?
Yeah. Because what happened? Oh, look, they got a story up there. Geez, y'all know everything. I thought that was
I do my research.
So what happened was, like, we had some seniors on the team, and I was a sophomore, and then our coach Tubbs believed in playing the seniors all the time. I was better than the guy in front of me, but because they went to the Elite Eight with Wayman, they were living off that memory. And so our younger class, which was the number one recruiting class when I came in 1985, we were the number one recruiting class. They put us on the shelf, like, and they redshirted 4 of the 5 of us. I was the only one in that class didn't redshirt. And then the guy was playing in front of me, like, I dominated all the time, killed him in practice. And then when they let me start, when he was out, I'd average 25 points a game. And so I just was like, man, this is easy. Like, but Coach Tubbs always played the seniors. And so we were in the NCAA tournament playing Pittsburgh, Charles Smith and Jerome Lane. Yeah. And they were like a top seed. They were like a number 1 or 2 seed. And we were like a 4 or 5 seed. So we're playing them and we beat them. And the night before the game, 3 of our seniors got missed curfew. So Tubbs, which I never thought he would do, he benched them. He benched them for like the first 8 minutes of the game. Said, all right, Stacey, you're going to start. And then he got the other starters out there and said, just go out there and play hard, do your best. I was like, wow, that's a vote of confidence. He's just like, come on, coach, like, do your best. Like nothing is expected out of me, basically. So I went out and had 20 points, 16 rebounds, like 5 blocks to advance us to the Sweet 16. So we go to Iowa. We're playing Iowa in Seattle. And that's when UNLV went to the Final Four that year with Indiana. And I want to say that's the year Purvis. No, it wasn't Purvis didn't win that. It was UNLV, Indiana. I think that's when Keith Smart hit that jumper. They won the national championship.
They beat Syracuse.
Yeah, they beat Syracuse. So we're playing Iowa, and Tubbs comes up to me and says, Stacey, I want you to be ready to play. You're going to play a lot of minutes, but we're not going to let you start. You're going to come off the bench. I'm like, all right, coach, whatever. I'm thinking I'm going to play 25, 30 minutes. I think I played 5 minutes in the game, and I was pissed. I think I had like 2 points and 5 blocks, and we should have beat Iowa. And so on the plane ride home, I was sitting in the seat and I had told my academic counselor, like, hey, I'm coming by your office on Monday. I need to get my records together. I'm transferring, And he's like, transferring? What do you mean transferring? I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here, man. I can't stay here another year. I said, I can't wait for this guy to give me playing time. Yeah. So he was like, well, just calm down, go home. It's emotional right now because we just lost. And, go home, talk to your parents, whatever. I'm like, nah, I already know. I had my mind made up, in the first quarter, first half. So he went and got Tubbs. So he goes in the back of the plane, tells Billy Tubbs, hey, I think you need to go talk to Stacey because now we're losing 5 seniors. So he says, I think you need to go talk to Stacey King. He's really upset. He's thinking about transferring. So, I guess Tubbs said, what? Transfer? So he comes down. And so I'm in my plane seat and I got my headphones on like this, And so I see him coming out the corner of my eye, come down the aisle. So I immediately want to just act like I'm asleep. So he's come down, he's talking to some guys, and he comes to me. And he's like, he taps me on the shoulder, like hits me. I'm like this. So then he grabs my headphone and does this, and then lets it go. Bloop! And I wake up. I act like, I was already up. But I go, what the hell? And he's like, you mind if I sit next to you? And I'm like, and I really didn't want him to sit next to me because I knew he was there to try to talk me out of it. So he sits down next to me and he's talking to me. He said, hey, look, I know you're upset. You have the right to be, we messed up. We should have played you more, blah, blah, blah. He said, but I don't want you to leave because next year is your year, which is my junior year. He said, next year is going to be your year. You're going to start. You're going to play all the minutes, blah, blah. And I said, hey, coach, listen, man, I appreciate you coming down and telling me this, but I can't rely on that. I said, I'm leaving. And he's like, all right, look, I just want you to go home, talk to your parents, and if you still feel the same way after the weekend, then I'll sign the papers for you to transfer.
Then Lois dropped the hammer.
And then he goes to me. This is what he said to me as I'm leaving. So he's getting up out of the seat and he goes, he said, Stacey King. He goes, your future is bright. Just make sure you're wearing your sunglasses. And he walked off. And so I was pissed because I'm thinking, who in the hell would say that to like a 19-year-old? Like, what does that even mean? Because you're a teenager, you don't really know. You're not really breaking that stuff down, like what it really means. You're just like, this dude is being sarcastic. Like he's playing with me. And, so I'm upset about it. And so I go home to talk to my parents. And I thought I was going to get the love from my mom and dad. Like, okay, baby, whatever you want to do, we'll transfer, whatever. I remember my dad sitting at the end of the table in his dad chair. I was sitting eating fried chicken, KFC. He looked like Kimbo Slice. He got a big beard, afro. And he's got chicken all in his beard. And he says, I said, yeah, Daddy. I said, yeah, I'm going to transfer. I knew exactly where I was going. I was going to Kansas. And so he goes, so you want to transfer? I go, yeah, I've already talked to the Kansas coaches. I'm going there, blah, blah. He says, no, you're not. And at that time, you had to have your parents sign off if you were a teenager. So he goes, I'm not signing this damn paper. He said, this is the school you chose. You didn't listen to me and your mother. We told you not to go there. But you made a grown-up decision, so now I don't care if you play another second at Oklahoma, you'll get an education. And I was just like, so you mean you're not going to sign this? He goes, hell no. He said, you're going to go back, you're going to work this summer, you're going to do construction, and you're going to work, and you're going to, if you don't play another second there, I don't care, as long as you get your education, but you're staying there. And I was just like, what kind of parents are these? Like, you're trying to make me honor my commitment. I understand that, but I'm not playing. I don't want to sit there another 2 years being in the same situation, playing up and down. But it all worked out. It all worked out in the end.
Wow.
That's
what happened.
So I urge kids, like I tell kids this, like, the grass ain't always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think that maybe, another situation might be better than what you're currently in. Sometimes you have to see it through. You have to see it through. You have to work harder. You got to push yourself. You got to, motivate yourself, have self-motivation to prove people wrong. And when you can do those things, you're going to see success come your way.
Unless the other school is offering some more NIL money, because that's your money, son.
Hey, listen, you know
That's
what?
a different conversation.
Let me tell you something. If Lois and James King would have waited or put me in one of them little Ted Williams cryos and froze me, and then put me in the microwave like 10 years ago and unthaw me.
Like Whispers Calamari.
Yeah, exactly. I would have came out. I would come out in this era. I would have came out in this era.
Yeah.
I would have been, just based off of what I did in Oklahoma to what these kids make.
Yeah.
Man, I might not have went to the league. I already took a pay cut once I got to the league anyway, and that was back in the 80s.
Yeah, how about Caitlin Clark? She's going to take a huge pay cut going to WNBA.
Listen,
I think the max salary there is like
choice.
$250,000.
I like to sit down and tell Caitlin, listen, Caitlin, WNBA will always be there.
Yeah.
But this NIL money ain't.
Let's go Hawks.
Yeah, let's go Hawks. I'm going to go another year. I'm going to set the record. It's going to be 5,000 points.
That's
no
right.
one will ever break
Chase that.
it. Chase that, bitches. ain't nobody breaking my records. Yeah.
Hey, before we get out of here, it's a staple of the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast.
Woo.
What we're watching.
Oh, yeah.
Whispers, you want to talk about the movie you were telling me about before the show, or are you going to get something else?
I was telling you about a movie.
Team America?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no, I had to watch that recently.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. It's a good movie, though.
Yeah, I do recommend that, Team America World Police.
Yes.
The sex scene is something you'll never forget.
Oh, scar you.
It definitely will.
It'll scar you.
You have a different view of marionettes, and I'm not talking about Joe Biden either.
This is definitely a recommendation for the over 21 crowd.
No, but I've been watching Shogun on FX.
Shogun.
The redo from the old Richard Chamberlain.
Is this a new?
Yeah, and it's
new
a series, and it's the special effects are much better, and so the killings and
fight
the
scenes are a lot
brutality
better,
are pretty intense. Very well done.
Wow.
I didn't think it would be as good as it is because you're looking at like, well, it's FX and Hulu. I mean, it's not Netflix, but it's right up there. It's great.
Okay.
What do you got, Stace?
Roadhouse. I just saw the remake of Roadhouse, and as a movie connoisseur, it's not better than the first one. The acting is terrible. I would
It
give
wasn't the first one.
Who's the lead actor in that?
in the new
I
one.
saw a promo for it.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
And then you got
yeah,
Conor McGregor in
yeah.
there as the bad guy.
Yeah.
The first one is way better. Way better. You got Patrick Swayze, Sam Shepard, Ben Gazzara was there. Just a better Kelly Lynch. This a better
Kelly Olynyk.
Oh no, not Kelly Olynyk. He wasn't even born. I don't think he might not have been born. But I saw the remake, and when they need to stop with these remakes.
Yeah.
Because
that's what they're trying to do with almost everything.
Because they have no ideas.
Well, they have to change it then. Was it the same story? Or
it
was
a different story. Okay, so the difference in this storyline was basically good guy, bad guy. Okay,
I think
Jake.
that's the same.
Remember in the original one, Dalton. His name is Dalton in this one, but in the original one, his whole career was bouncer. He was a bouncer in like all bars. He's that guy that goes in and turns all bars around, all like really crazy bars that like to fight and stuff. He turns it all around. But in this one, he's not a bouncer. This is his first time ever being a bouncer in this movie. He was a UFC fighter that fought for the world championship, killed somebody, and then he was feeling guilty about that. And then somebody said, "Hey, would you like to be a bouncer?" And he ended up being a bouncer. Conor McGregor, listen, man. Conor, if you listen to me, if you listen to the show, listen, man, stay off the drugs. Stay off the drugs, man. Seriously. He's got a major problem, dude. Like, seriously. He's
all roided out.
First of all, he's got a steroid problem. He's really huge, bigger than what he should be. He does no leg work. His legs are little, but his up body's like super big. But I saw some interviews with him just recently about this movie. And literally, he looked like he was on a binge. Like he couldn't even. He was stuttering when he was trying to talk because Conor is a camera guy. He does really well.
Wit.
Yeah, he's got the wit. He's really good in front of the camera.
Red Penty night.
Yeah, but this Conor McGregor on drugs looks totally different.
That's scary.
And someone needs to listen. Somebody in his camp. This guy's a father of 3 or 4 kids now. He's made all his money. He doesn't want to fight anymore. His mind wants to fight, but his body says no. He's holding out for that. Dana White and them won't even bring him to the UFC because of the fact that he's always drunk or high. Somebody needs to pull him and do an intervention. His parents somewhere and stop being yes men because the dude is just in bad shape. I mean, at least he comes across as bad shape. And it's sad looking at him because I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge Conor McGregor fan. And just watching him just like self-destruct right in front of your eyes, just like, oh, terrible.
You guys talking about some heavy stuff. If you're looking for something that's just good for a laugh, and you got the Peacock streaming service, show called Based on a True Story. Kelly Cuoco, who is from The Big Bang Theory, was the Dixie next door neighbor. She plays, married to a washed up tennis pro, and they're trying to find a way to cover all their debts. They're going to lose their house and everything else. And so they decide they're going to start a podcast, and they find out the identity of a real serial killer. So they bring this guy in who is actually a serial killer. And then he gets infatuated with the idea of being on a podcast and has all these ideas on improving the show. It's just hilarious because the guy who plays the serial killer gets all excited about being a podcast producer. And just the dialogue in there is really funny. So it's a good show.
Check that out.
It's not actually a true story.
No, it's just the name.
Okay.
The serial killer came up with that title for the podcast. Okay. And he's dictating how the show's going to be done while he's killing people. It's pretty funny.
But they know. Do they know he's a serial killer?
Yeah, they know the whole time. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
they're
like
trying to
show.
stay one step ahead of the law while they produce this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's infatuated with the killer is infatuated with the podcast
because he's becoming popular. Like Spotify's offering him a multi-million-dollar deal, and he's all excited about it. Because he wants to tell his story out there while he's out there killing people.
Wow. But when the police know who he is now, like.
No, they never reveal his identity, obviously. And the podcast is done at a secret location, and they're doing these new episodes.
I need to watch that. That sounds like
it's a fun show.
That sounds like Give Me the Hot Sauce.
So they're half-hour episodes.
Our location.
We're still waiting for that multi-million-dollar.
If you're out there with a checkbook, man, we can be sold. We can be bought for anything.
You know what we need? We need Whispers to become a serial killer. That would really.
How do you
bump
know
our
that he's
numbers.
not?
Maybe I am.
How do you know that he's not?
Why do you think I'm always leaving town?
You ever seen it? It was a movie or a commercial where the girl's riding in a car with it was a serial killer, and then lady's a serial killer. And then the guy goes, "What are the chances of being in the car?" What are the chances of me being in the car with a serial killer? The lady The lady goes, pretty
Be
good.
surprised.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. And I was like, I don't remember where I saw that, but it was the funniest thing. I don't know what movie or show I saw that on, but it was the funniest thing. Oh, another thing I'm watching too, America. Remember I told y'all to watch Vikings? Vikings is a great show, okay? I'm watching the Vikings of Valhalla now, which is 100 years later.
That's great.
Yeah, it's an awesome show. It's awesome.
So we gave you a lot of recommendations, different genres that you can enjoy. And before we get out of here, Stacey's going to tell us about the great Windy City limo services.
Windy City.
Caesar's got the car running, I think.
Oh, yeah. Caesar's got the car running. I can't find Mike anymore, man. Mike's the one, the gum twins might have snatched him up, man. Oh, Lord, he might be tied up in the basement like Misery. Oh,
There's another great movie.
there's another great movie. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, pumpkin.
Oh, Jesus. Windy City Limousine provides championship service. Making a reservation is so easy, it's a slam dunk. Let Windy City break the full court pressure of traffic and get you to your final destination in style and on time. Contact Windy City at 847-916-9300. That's 847-916-9300. Or go online, WindyCityLimos.com.
The best service in the Chicagoland area.
It is.
You always rely on it.
I only use Windy, America. If I need, hey, listen, if I got to go to the grocery store, I call Windy City, okay? That's how much I trust them.
Stacey's working on some great guests in upcoming episodes, so stay tuned. We will get that information on social media whenever they are officially booked, but some big names are coming our way on Gimme the Hot Sauce.
Yes, they are.
We appreciate you watching and listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying, as all podcasts, to boost our numbers without a serial killer on the show.
Yes.
Let's whisper.
Let's whisper. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were going to kill D
Or
first.
Dangerous D.
What number do you have to hit to be a
one.
serial killer?
You got at least 3, I think you got to kill.
All right, I'm close.
Not all at the same, not all at the same time. You got to spread it out a little bit, you know.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Build
but
some momentum.
Yeah, I'm feeling the urge again. The dark passenger's calling.
He got back from Florida. Tell us about your trip real quick.
Like threw a guy in the Everglades, and then after that,
What's your middle name? Dexter?
Yeah.
well, that's it.
Dexter's a great.
I
Dexter's a
That's
great
another
show.
great
I
show.
learned a
Haven't
lot
seen
from him. He's a pretty good guy.
Yes.
But yeah, good trip. One of these days.
it. Throw the body parts in the ocean.
Oh yeah, you gotta
You know,
grab them up.
Cover
And,
your tracks.
that's right.
All right.
How was the
take
weather
boss
down
away
there?
around. It was great, actually.
Because it was Maureen's birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Maureen.
Yeah, we had
She's
a
a
good,
she's
good
a
weekend.
she's an avid listener.
There's no chance she's getting to this point in the show.
No, she probably left
her
the
birthday's
first.
St. Patrick's Day, so it's pretty easy to
Oh,
remember,
nice. Yeah.
and always a reason to go out and have a good time.
Really, her birthday's on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty cool. You never forget it then.
no, it's
See,
easy.
anytime somebody's birthday's on a holiday, you never forget it.
That's right.
It's when any other day. It's when you forget it.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. That calamari's not gonna eat itself,
No,
as
it's
I said
not.
earlier. So we got to put that in the microwave and break our teeth trying to chew on that stuff.
Just chewy gum.
Timing is everything in life.
blow
Whispers.
bubbles.
Yeah. Well,
I know you got a murder scheduled for later tonight.
Yeah,
so,
there you
know,
go.
I got a long weekend ahead of me, guys.
Oh my God.
Hey, based on a true story, give me the hot sauce crossover. So that's going to do it
Ooh,
for this week's
Alabama.
show. As Alabama finishing their whooping up on Charleston.
Oh my God.
Nate
What
Oates, he was with the Bulls
They
organization.
might score
for a while.
100.
Yeah.
They're like a Sooner team back in the 80s, baby. Anytime I see somebody score 100 points, I think of my team immediately.
Yeah, we had a 100-point game today. Florida lost 102 to 100 against Colorado.
Colorado
Stacey,
scored 102.
102, yeah. The kid made a jumper with
Wow.
like 5 seconds left.
You wish I was you, huh?
What?
You wish I was you, huh?
What do you mean?
You wish I was you.
Dude, I was the leading scorer in the tournament. What are you talking
I
about?
know.
Okay.
We saw your stance.
All right. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure you know. Okay. Don't let the smooth voice fool you. I was a killer back in the day. Don't sleep.
Speaking of killer, you could be Whisper's next victim. So on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
note,
Yeah. And I'm
time
gonna help
to get
him.
out of here.
I'm
It's on the list.
gonna help him.
Oh my goodness! It's only preseason, but I'm hype feel thought. Jimmy G buckets gets buckets. Oh my goodness! Give me the hot sauce.